probably gonna kill me tonight. So if I do wind up on the news on TMZ, I was found dead. Being a celebrity sometimes comes with, like, everybody wants to be successful in a celebrity and stuff like that, but it comes with, bullshit sometimes. And
get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most, and so they...
Taryn. Howard rocked the table, her revelation startling. According to him, 50 Cent tried to step in and keep Bryshere Gray from joining Diddy's bizarre backstage existence. After Empire ended, everyone assumed Bryshere just moved, out of the spotlight. However, Terrence explains that Bryshere's departure was caused by more than just bad choices or mental health problems. It goes far deeper, and it all starts with the people involved.
But away, first out the limo. So Charlie has been with me, 30 years coming up in the business. So, he's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of love. And all he has to do is add discipline, and he's gonna be all right.
It's like Uncle Will.
After being cast as Hockey Lion, Bryshere Gray, also known as Yaz the Great, went from performing in the streets of Philadelphia to hanging out with Hollywood's A-listers. It was a Cinderella story. We're talking about well-known figures like Diddy and Will Smith, as well as a close-knit circle of influential people in the industry that have much too much power. His sudden connections with industry heavyweights like Lee Daniels, Will Smith, and Charlie Mack shortly after high school graduation seemed like a dream come true on the surface. But nobody ever explains to up-and-coming stars what really happens once you hit it big, especially when you're that young, unprotected, and surrounded by wolves.
They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house and screaming. August the only one is...
For many years, Jaguar Wright had been voicing concerns that Bryshere wasn't just disregarded, but also taken advantage of and left on his own. Even more horrifyingly, she accused Bryshere of being tossed around like a present among powerful people.
Bryshere's mom, I'ma kick you in your and I'ma go to work North Philly style. Kill and Charlie. You happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell?
Bryshere supposedly left Will's house in total terror following a terrifying encounter. Jaguar Wright said that Will and Diddy came too close to Bryshere, who yelled as he walked away.
My help, I told her to get the away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago safe, to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is, she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all.
Her assertion that the mother knew about it and decided to disregard it while presenting a suffering single mother on screen is even more disturbing. Her son was reportedly being prepped for scenarios that no young man in this line of work should ever face. It's the kind of stuff that leaves you wondering about everything. The media altered the story, making him no longer a rising star, but just another name fading into scandal, and the celebrities cover disappeared along with Empire.
And she let Charlie tune that boy up on coke, knowing that he was bipolar and had ADHD. What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is...
But this is where it gets interesting. Instead of merely exploiting him, Jaguar claims they imprisoned him and pulled him deeper into the shadows of the entertainment business. The startling thing is that she asserts that there is a tape, not a rumor, but a complete recording, and that it hasn't been misplaced or forgotten. She also asserts that it is being used as active leverage as blackmail to keep Breezy speaking.
Out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Okay.
I really hope none of that baby oil was used on those kids. That would just be in bad taste.
It's easy to envision that the industry may be completely upended if the recording proves authentic, is no longer merely a scandal. If it were to go public, it might be the end of Hollywood. But the focus of the press shifted suddenly from Breezy's brilliance to his unraveling, and the story reached a dead end in 2020. People were appalled at Breezy's marital status as well as what had happened when it was disclosed that he had been imprisoned after a traumatic domestic argument with his wife. The startling details, however, were genuinely unnerving.
But Gray's wife says she knows exactly why Gray claimed Mark carried out the crime.
He just said the same as mom.
He said that after confronting him about adultery, his wife fled to a stranger's home in utter panic and begged for assistance, saying she had been attacked for hours and had blacked out from the wounds. Here's the catch, though. Breeze isn't being silent anymore. Rumor has it that he has been telling those close to him that Will and Diddy and the things they reportedly exposed him to are the reason behind all that transpired, rather than a breakdown or some irresponsible behavior. He says they pushed him into these predicaments and then left him when he tried to get out.
Of bullshit. For real. You know, everybody knows your government name. No, not 30. I mean, a couple people knowing your government name is cool, but when motherfuckers like 30 billion people know your government name, anybody can do anything. It's just like, I'm not normal no more. It's a gift and a curse.
The repercussions of that domestic case were terrible, not only legally, but also emotionally, professionally, and psychologically, even though Breezy was only in county jail for 10 days. Once the focus of attention, the industry fell silent. His entire reputation was ruined, and the man was reduced to a cautionary tale.
When you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to,
A persistent notion, nevertheless, has been circulating in the background. What if Breezy wasn't simply pushed? These days, mentorship means different things. But it is stated that his trauma started when Will and Diddy joined his life as mentors.
I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work?
It's becoming increasingly clear that Breezy wasn't just out of control. Rather, he was caught up in a complex system of manipulation that drained him dry and discarded him like garbage. It's being said behind the scenes that mentorship in this circle entailed secret pressure, veiled power moves, and bizarre sessions.
Hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He was like, I think he's trying to... That's what my assistant said. I was like...
The focus has switched away from whether or not Diddy and Will Smith are indeed secretive. There have been stories about their secrecy for years. People are now coming out to say that these two influential players in the industry use their fame to entice young male musicians into clearly questionable and sometimes worse situations. And it's getting out of...
Get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands-off.
Finally, speaking up and revealing his true feelings, Howard sits down with Patrick Bet-David in a shocking encounter. Terrence delivered a severe name bomb, accusing Diddy of continually inviting him to join the same questionable group. The strangeness soon set in.
Producers coming to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always...
Terrence eventually gave in once, and he says that's when he realized something wasn't quite right. The whole mood was strange, he continues. Although Terrence unexpectedly stopped communicating with Diddy and stopped dating him completely, this was not a unique instance. Terrence says that other Hollywood executives have tried to get him to join the same mess over the years, but he has always maintained that is one line he would never cross. He also discussed how this nonsense damages your feelings and how it changes your opinion of the field forever.
And over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that because a man...
In the quest for glory, many men in the field lose their dignity, but they are unable to cope with the grief once it is gone. Terrence's remark resonated, especially if you remember those embarrassing old recordings of Justin Bieber clearly avoiding Diddy at parties. The boy seems scared, and the rumors have only grown more intense. Federal documents describe a young male pop singer who has been involved in questionable situations, but there is no official confirmation. Let's face it, the puzzle pieces are fitting together way too nicely.
Get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the...
Going back to Bryshere Gray, according to insiders, 50 Cent had been watching Diddy's wild parties from a distance for years and had recognized the warning signs. He claimed that while he was aware of the atmosphere in the room, he never went. When Bryshere started to lose it, 50 allegedly tried to intervene through Terrence to save him before it was too late. But by that point, Bryshere had been too enmeshed, and everything he witnessed behind those closed doors changed him. Since Bryshere the Greatest just made a surprise reappearance and was the lone fan spotted, that flawless image of Hakeem Lion is now permanently gone. This wasn't just a case of the media or crushed hopes.
All. I'm sorry. The Bryshere conversation for me is not easy. Because I came to Belial and I asked Belial to help me save the kids, and all he was worried about was his book.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Don't nobody care about these kids. Don't nobody care about these kids.
He is, in fact, out there doing bold picture assignments with a well-known OV maker who is fully embracing a new persona away from the limelight of Hollywood. Since we've been witnessing gay baiting practices for some time, let's face it, the internet is going crazy right now. Do you recall when, shortly before launching his OnlyFans, Bryshere began posting thirst traps on social media? It was a strategy, nothing more, not just a moment. With his most recent content release, he has now transformed that bait into an entire fishing competition. Bryshere plunged in headfirst, not just dangling his toes. There is no way to define his positions because they...
Car, don't you ever forget, you're in my car. No, but you're okay. Okay, I'll be quiet. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Babe, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am sorry.
Terrence made that clear. You had better be ready for the consequences if you talk carelessly to an adult. You are immediately blackballed once they describe you as difficult after you decline. It appears that Bryshere Gray is now up against the same mechanism that did this to Terrence Howard. He has also hinted that Hollywood has a more sinister plan to dehumanize black guys in the spotlight. It gets insane at this point. Rumor has claimed that 50 Cent has already invited Terrence Howard to show up in his documentary, Did He Do? Claimed. There is a lengthy history between these two.
Wind up on the news on TMZ, I was found dead. It was the Down syndrome girl. It was the Down syndrome girl. And I can hear somebody laughing right now. I can really hear somebody laughing their fucking brains out their fucking brains. This is not the funny. Because once you come back in this car, you know the mothers are stronger than regular people. I got a new porno of all my asshole. You can see my...
He even promised to assist Terrence and Taraji P. Henson in their legal battle against Gannett Films when Terrence revealed that he had been defrauded of his Hustle and Flow earnings. Insiders suspect that Bryshere may have already spoken to 50 before the entire incident was made public, but this time the stakes are really high. Even though he may have disclosed some serious information, he decided against going public out of fear, and let's be honest, he had every reason to be near. He said that after realizing the mentorship front, Bryshere wanted to quit. Despite his efforts to disassociate himself from Diddy and Will, they supposedly brutally blackballed him. According to reports, Bryshere then started crafting a $50 million lawsuit, outlining all the claims that Will and Diddy had ruined his career and disseminated untrue information about him to keep him quiet until he could speak.